Ah, ah. Oh my goodness, how much fun has this been? This has been heaps of fun. So much fun. All the fun. Tea. And I'm gonna start just by working with the shadow sense again, which I tend to like to use. I get really nice full coverage. So I'm gonna start off by using Snow, which is the white shadow sense, as my base. So I'm just gonna start applying some of this snow across my face. Put that there. There we go. I'm just gonna start working that in and get a nice, full, creamy, white coverage. So we'll start by just giving ourselves a nice base. I am not gonna cover my brows. He doesn't really have brows that are higher up on the face or anything like that. And I've come up with an idea for doing brows that I think will be kind of fun that won't require me to put much over them. So I'm just gonna go around, make sure I get nicely, evenly covered. I think I'm gonna use a, this is a Bobbi Brown Essential Eye Shader brush, but it's got a nice flat blender to it. So I'm just gonna use that to make sure I get this nice and evenly worked in around my mouth and my eyes, just so I have a really even base before I start adding colors in. I'm gonna start on eyes. So on one eye, I'm gonna be doing a blue up above here, and then down below it's more of like a deep burgundy red, and then this side it'll be more of a pink magenta, purpley violet sort of color. So we'll start with that, and then I'll go back in and I'll do some contouring and stuff all over the face. Just my normal shadow brush, and I'm gonna start with the Caribbean. So I'm gonna mix some Caribbean blue, and I'm gonna mix that, I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of Snow because I don't want it to be too dark. I'll just put it on my hand to start, and I can go from there. So it's gonna go up pretty much all the way up to that brow bone. I'm gonna run it up into my my brows. So that's the Caribbean just there. So I'm gonna start by doing my whole lid. All the way up to my brow bone. I'm gonna use my little eye blender here. This is a Bobbi Brown Essential Eye Contour brush as well. Get in there. Really blend that all the way up. I'm gonna bring this all the way around here. And it sort of comes down a little bit on the side of the eye as well. Just like that. Well, I'm already looking very exciting. Okay, I think I'm gonna pop some more blue in there even. I really want that color to pop. And the nice thing about these is they are so heavily pigmented, you really can just build the color and build the color up to the color depth sort of that you're after. There we go. That'll be good. Yeah, a little bit more blue. Right up into my brow. This is going to be so fun. Cool, I'm happy with the blue on that side. I'm just gonna grab a baby wipe and get the little extra bits off my hand so I have a clean palette to work. Underneath here is a little bit of a muddy, deep sort of red. So I'm gonna mix some cherry, and I think I'm gonna mix it with some garnet with that one. So I'm gonna get a darker red. I might even end up putting in some onyx in the corners just to darken it around here. And I'm gonna pop some garnet in. It's quite rounded under here. And then it blends up on this side. That's the blending brush I want. It probably needs to go even further down. And then I went, and I'm gonna mix some of this garnet into the cherry now for a slightly darker shade of red under here, especially in these outer corners. Around the bottoms, just to cover up a little bit more of that. I am going to grab a little bit of the onyx as well, because I'd like to just darken this outer corner a little bit in here. Oops, I don't know if you guys can see, kind of through that section. So I'm gonna pop a little bit of onyx mixed into with my my cherry blush scents. This is fun. I should just sleep in this, and then my husband can wake up to this. Now on this side, it's a little bit more of a purpley sort of color, so I'm gonna mix the I'm gonna mix the amethyst, and I think I'm gonna mix that with some cherry, so I get a nice purpley, pinky sort of color, because the different eyes are different colors. So that one side was blue, and then like a more of a red right there to start off with, and then this one is more of a pinky sort of color. So I'm gonna mix those together. And we'll do that on this second eye. And on that one, it also looks like the lid has been left white. So I might leave the lid white on that one just for funsies as well, to kind of try to emulate as best as we can. I'm gonna add a little bit more of this. Cherry and amethyst together is a very fun, bright, pinky, purpley color. Let's have a little bit of, we're all mad here, isn't that what he says? Okay, we're all a little, oh yeah, that's gonna be a good color. Oh yeah, oh, now we're cooking with grease, folks. Okay, so let's take that all again, all the way up to the brow. So I'm gonna bring this as well down in here, into that inner inside bit. I'm gonna shadow all along the sides of the nose, but I'm just gonna concentrate on the eyes at the moment. So I'm gonna take this one down a little bit more. And I don't necessarily need them to be quite even, because his are not quite even. This one's actually down a little lower, and this one's up a little higher. I think it's meant to give him that sort of wonky, you know, not so perfect look. Now I am gonna mix a similar sort of color to what I'm doing here. I might add a little bit more of the cherry in to do all of that shading that's along the sides of the nose and here in that cheekbone area and just through there to kind of cut that angle and that face in. So that's what I'm gonna work on next. So I'm gonna add a little bit more cherry. I'm gonna leave a little bit of the amethyst in there so it has a slight purpley tinge, but it's gonna be largely cherry. Okay, so I'm gonna start back up in here. I'm gonna go down the side. His nose. And then kind of around as well. Blend that out. This is so much fun. I'm actually going to blend that shadow down a little further, because he's got it's quite shadowed in here around the sides. Like this. I show you so you can see what I see. So now I'm currently kind of working into here and just on that side as well, kind of coming in on both sides of that nose. I'm also gonna do into the temple area next. So I'm gonna come down the other side. And I'm gonna carry this line down from around the inside of the eye socket. Yeah, that'll be good. And I'm just kind of going around as well on the side here to exaggerate the shape of the nostril here too, because it's a little bit more pointy. Fun, fun, fun. Fun, fun, fun. Now, there's also some sort of kind of shading in here into this temple area to kind of make it look a little bit more hollowed out. Go into there, and I'm just going to work it into my hairline as well a little bit. So I'm kind of creating that kind of just that hollowed out skull shape at there. Let's shade that down as well. I'm just gonna actually kind of go all the way around my hairline now, just to blend that together. So I'm going to go back to the cheekbone, and it also cuts down kind of just along here on the side. I'm going to keep mixing up some of that cherry and a little bit of the amethyst, so it has that pinky purpley hue to it. What about there? Shade all under here. I'm gonna blend it in. We're pretending we have cheekbones. I'm gonna blend that right into my hairline. It's pretty good, and it's still white down here. I might just pop a little extra, probably come back at the end once I finished all of my shading for the shadow, and then I'll probably come back in and use a little bit more snow just to highlight and accent a few extra places that I want to have like really pop off a little bit. So that'll be good for one side. So okay, I am gonna also shade just along my jawline as well to create a slightly more squared off jawline under here. Square. Square across the front. And I'm just going to shade that all down. So it's just a little bit darker under here. He has a much more prominent chin bone than I. I'm going to go back to the eyes, and I am going to use my Undersense to just thicken. I'm going to show you the lashes and stuff that he's got. I'm going to paint on some lashes, but I'm also going to just go through and really thicken up my lashes so that when I coat them, they kind of separate like that, really spider-like. So I'm going to pop on, and I'm going to put it on nice and thick because I really want to get them kind of clumpy. I want them to kind of stick together really thick and spider-like. I'm just running that together so it sticks kind of clump-like, and I'm gonna do underneath as well. His lashes are white, and this is gray, but I'm gonna go over them after this dries. I just want them to be extra thick and stuff before I put color into them. For the lip color, I was looking at probably combining Purple Rain and Raspberry. Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm gonna put one layer of Purple Rain and possibly 2 layers of Raspberry on top. He's got a fairly pink lip color, but it has like a slight purpley undertone as well. So I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna mix together to create that. So I might pop that on while this dries. I'm gonna put on 1 coat of Purple Rain. I'm gonna make sure my lips are nice and clean and dry while my eye makeup is drying. So. I'm gonna do 2 layers of Purple Rain actually, I think. And then I might top it with Raspberry. I wanna keep this top lip fairly thin. And I think I put 1 more coat on top. It's gonna be Raspberry. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna put on some matte gloss because I don't really want it to be shiny. Pretty good. I'll go back and looking a little mad now, are we? I'm gonna go back afterward when I put my highlights in, and I'm gonna touch up anywhere around the lips with some white and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go put a second coat on here to really thicken up all these lashes and kind of clump them together. And underneath as well. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. I have a plan for brows, and it's gonna sound a little kooky, but stick with me here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, obviously he has these Kurosazi brows that kind of, let's see if I can get them just the right light. Okay, so he's got these crazy brows. Some of them kind of snake up, especially around the front little piece right there. Then they kind of come over, they're kind of bright orangey red, and then they swing off to the side and blend in with the hair. Yeah? Okay. So what I've done is I took a cotton ball and I put some of the peach salmon LipSense on it. Okay, so I've just colored my cotton with it, and I'm gonna pull off like little pieces of fiber and add them on. But before I do that, I'm gonna add them on with lash glue. But before I do that, I'm gonna just put some base color down, and I am gonna actually use the LipSense to do it. So I'm using peach to start off with, and I'm gonna put some on my hand, and then I'm gonna use my brush to apply it. So I'm gonna use this brush just so I can go in. So I've got some peach on my hand, and I'm gonna start just covering to get a base on my brow of some orange. So I'm just doing an undercolor now to give it some depth before I put a little bit of fluff up there. So this is the peach layer. And I'm gonna go right off the side, because they do like kind of blend like that off into the side with the hair. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So that's our first layer of brow color. And now I'm gonna take the salmon, which is just like a little bit brighter, still in that corally sort of family. And I'm gonna take some blue red, because I'm gonna add a little bit of red to it just for some definition. So I'm gonna grab some blue red next, pop a little bit of that on my hand, and I'm gonna get a finer liner brush, this guy, and I'm gonna use the blue red to add some little depth down here, make it a little bit darker. Hair stroke, brush strokes, right? And at the top part here, I totally like, he's got some of these crazy guys like this, like go up the top like that. So I'm gonna do some in the I'm gonna do some in the blue red first, and then I'll go back. I'm just gonna add like some of these crazy ones. Go up like that. So now that I've generally got the base of what I want for my brows, I have, like I said, gone through and taken a cotton ball and just colored some pieces of cotton so that I can pull off some hairy bits. And I'm going to use lash glue. You could use, well, first of all, you could use nothing. You could just draw them on. That's fine. You could use hair. You can buy, like, you know, sort of wefts of either a fake hair, you know, like acrylic hair. It comes in little braids and things you can clip off as much as you like. So I'm just taking tiny little tufts, and I'm gonna put a little bit of eyelash glue on there. So I've just got a little bit of lash glue on there, and I'm gonna start on the outer corner. Make sure I've got it the way I want it. Just gonna use the end of my brush to tap and make sure that my glue is adhering. Ooh, brows are happening. Okay. So again, same thing. I've got another little tuft. Make sure. Let's go here. Now, see, some of the cotton still isn't colored, but I don't really care. I'm gonna go over it at the end with a little bit just of LipSense on a brush to touch up any spots that aren't right. I just kind of pre-colored it for ease, and then I'll touch up whatever I'm missing at the end. It's gonna start putting some on the other side. And this is, I mean, I actually think it looks fine just colored in, but I thought it'd be fun to give it some dimension and see what we could do, you know, just see what we could create, you know, using our lash scents and just using our stuff that we would normally have. Most of us are gonna have some lash glue around the house, and just play and see, you know, what you can come up with. So I've just pulled off another little tuft. And now I'm gonna grab a little bit more of my salmon LipSense and my liner brush, and I'm just gonna go back through and recolor, you know, any of those bits of cotton that were still a little bit white. So I'm just kind of lightly brushing over any areas of my cotton that I didn't catch the first time around, because I just kind of gave it a general soaking. There we go. I just have a little bit more of the blue red, and I'm still going to use that to add little dimensions to this. I'm going to do the ones that go up in the center here, the crazy kooky ones. That's pretty good. I'm pretty content with that, you guys. Now, I am gonna go back with my snow. And I had put my under scents on my lashes before. And I'm gonna take a mascara wand because he's got white lashes. Okay, I've got a mascara wand and I've got some snow and I'm going to go over my lashes and make them nice and white. So I'm gonna go in with my liner brush and I'm gonna add some of these little lashes underneath. These are not perfect and precise or anything like that. They're kind of hodgepodge and messy on his as well. And then I'm gonna take the same snow on my mascara wand. And I'm gonna go over and let it stick to all my lashes like a mascara. And underneath as well. Oh my goodness, oh, so funny. Okay, he has a gap in his teeth, all right, a little black gap in his teeth. I'm gonna use blackberry for that, but I need to get my tooth really, really dry so it'll stick. Nice and dry, nice and dry, nice and dry. Blackberry. Sexy. I'm too sexy for my teeth. Too sexy for my teeth. Okay. Let it dry. Let it dry. Let it dry. Let it dry. This is matte gloss. I put that over the top. This is so funny. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit more snow and my blender just here, and I'm gonna highlight just the high planes of my face that I want to make pop a little bit more, like extra white. Okay, I'm gonna put some on my chin here. A little extra white, a little pop of white. So let's just do the hair. I'm gonna take all my pins out. I did put some setting lotion in my hair and curl it with a curling wand. This is looking great. Johnny Depp, eat your heart out. Just back combing. To give it that craziness that it needs. The crazy, let the crazy out. Okay, this is looking great. This is looking awesome. We're getting very close. We're getting very close. I want it to kind of triangles out at at these corners a little bit. Like this way. Like this is the widest point of this hair. Like I said, it's not a Mad Hatter hat because I don't have one of those, but it'll have to do. Do I want to wear it that way? Huh? All right. So that's it. I think we're finished, right? Are we all a little mad about it? I hope you had fun and you enjoyed it.